Maybe they are. Who knows? Yo, good day, and welcome to another episode of the RoadFS Podcast. Rod just says, you know what? I'm done. Throwing the pins. I'm done.
Throwing the caution to the wind.
Yeah. So, dude, we are running on Florida time today, so we're a little late because of our friend Giancarlo. Welcome to the RoadFS Podcast.
Thank you guys for having me again. Correction, it's known as Miami time or Spanish time.
Well,
because
I wanted to be careful of how I said it.
You got to say that right there. Maestro del Universo.
You have to recognize that we are with Maestro del Universo.
Hey.
Yeah, so he is with us, a field application specialist from Rupes, and we are super, super excited to have you on board. And, so every time you meet Giancarlo from now on, you have to bow down, yell, all hail Maestro del Universo.
No.
And for our non-Spanish speaking friends, that means Master of the Universe.
Not a title that I took. It was given to me by Rod. Thank you, Rod.
Thank you very much. So you are like, you've been all over, man. I like you're in Miami, you're in Fort Lauderdale, you're in Houston for a training, you're doing aviation stuff. You're all over the place, dude. How is this new role just working?
So it's pretty crazy because yes, I felt like I've been all over the place. And then I look up the list and I've worked with a few companies. I've been blessed that I had the opportunities to help train, teach students all over the world, and
we lost him.
Teach, train, and there he is.
Teach,
he's back.
Train, and
you lost me.
Yeah, you went. I had the opportunity to teach, train, and
basic. Oh, okay. I thought I lost you guys now because you froze.
I was still froze.
I've been blessed to be able to go all over the place and work with awesome brands and awesome people, because I believe that the brands are made by the people and who are behind them. And I've learned so much. So yes, I've been through a lot, but I feel like everything was just that things that I had to go through that led up to this moment, to working with this wonderful brand that has supported me since I started detailing, going on 10 years will be, this August. And since I started, they've always been there helping me. Not once did I ever think that I would be putting on the hat and the shirt officially as part of the team. And that dream came true the beginning of this year, January 6th. I signed up with Rupes as field technician or field application specialist. And I am I wouldn't say the first bilingual, but in the States, I'm right now the only bilingual trainer, which is really cool for me. Coming from, a background where Hispanic is my culture. Hispanic people are they're my people, and we need this. We needed someone to come in and translate all the very, very important information that we give out as a company, to now be able to give it out to a Hispanic culture is really, really awesome and exciting, because now we have so many things that we're going to be doing but not just the Hispanic culture, it's all together. But together, combined, people from all over will be able to understand each other a little bit better. So
and that's what's really cool about having Jody be bilingual as well, because when we go somewhere and we do trainings for the IDA or RoadFS, Detail Bookie,
right,
then it's the reason it's important. And if people don't understand it's because it's an inclusion thing. You're including somebody in their native tongue that otherwise generally has to just figure it out. And that's what's really awesome. Seeing the first time we were at a training and Jody was able to take about 11 or 14 people off to the side and do a Spanish training for them, because that's their first language. Some of them don't understand English, and it was fantastic. Correct. I mean, people were almost in tears just because we spoke a language. And being somebody that doesn't have a second language, I didn't understand that until I'm in a situation where I don't understand what people are talking about, right?
Right. Right. And it's I've been on both sides, when I started school, I didn't know anything on English. Of I didn't know anything. I could watch movies and TV shows and somewhat understand, but once you got thrown into the fire at 8 years old, I had to learn it. And I had a lot of friends and people actually reaching out and that were helping me. And so now I'm on the other side of it where I'm teaching others that, what we know, but through the Spanish language, and it's really, really cool. So
Well, the thing that kind of has really resonated with me the last couple days is we have a new customer coming on, and I met him at Juan Gonzalez's training in Idaho Falls last
shout
summer.
out,
And
shout
he
out
reached
Juan.
out, yeah, shout out to Juan, and he said I just met this guy. We really connected, and he's like, yeah, we ought to really do something together sometime. And he finally reached out to me, and so we're actually having this conversation, and it's all in Spanish, but then we get into kind of this little corner, and so we switched to English, and then we switched back to Spanish, right? And I think a lot of times people underestimate the power of being able to switch into something that you're comfortable. And to me, it's also a respect thing, right? It's
Yeah,
just like, dude, I have enough respect and love and appreciation for you and your culture that I'm going to try to connect. And to me, it's all about connecting. Buenos días, Fernando. Nos vemos en mayo al Expo de Retail. So, yeah, so it's really cool, right? So to be able to connect,
yeah.
and I think that's really what to me what's cool, and to have you on the RUPES team to be able to go and do Spanish only training or to flip back and forth. There's so much power in that.
It is. It's challenging. Most definitely challenging. Puerto Rico, which was last week for Todd and I. It was my first Spanish speaking training class training that we did, 2-day training. I was more than I was just the translator. Um, but being able to have me there to translate, I feel like a lot of the students really connected, and then to the point where I'm translating and then I'm adding in my bits and pieces, and I turn around, Todd's just like, "Go, man,
Yeah.
you got this." So
Well,
it,
I don't
it
think
was
people
cool.
realize, people that don't have the, like myself, that don't have a second language. I never really realized how hard it was to go between languages until I watched Jody do an IDA certification, and he had to read the questions to the person, and so it took Bob Myers as the RIT. Jody would read the questions to the participant. She would read back the answers, and then Jody would have to interpret back to Bob. And the thing I saw was, as the day went on, Jody just physically was
I
tired.
was
It just
getting
worked in your
tired.
brain. So I mean, my hat's off to people that can do that. I
It
can barely speak English, so that's hard enough for me to come out, and do that. But I think it's really fantastic that we're more accepting and realizing that there's a large community of people that they can speak English, but it's not their native language, and so we need to accommodate that so that that we can provide everybody with the information. The stuff that RUPES does is phenomenal. I've been really lucky. I've been through the full RUPES system training probably 5 times. One time as a train the trainer, and I have a hard time picking it up. You pick up pieces every single time, so I can't even imagine not understanding the language and doing it. So,
yeah.
what is in this new role, what is your main thing that you do besides going out and doing training? Do you do support for people as well?
Absolutely. So my territory is from Texas to North Carolina down to the Keys. So Southeast is what Larry and I will be in charge of this year. Um, and the support comes in where we have to support our distributors and the end users, which is at the end of the day the most important thing. Our end users, our loyal customers, the customers that are looking for quality tools and a quality
Yeah.
system. And my job is to go out there and help them no matter what. Because at the end of the day, they grow, we grow. And that's the most important part. So trainings are a part of it, but I also have to get on phone calls, and I also have to text people and DM people and be part of the industry that I grew up in, you know. And it's beautiful because I now, it's not just about the trainings, and I love the trainings. They'll take a lot out of you. But
Yeah.
the work in between also, and then the community has been very, very I, I'm blessed. Like, I've gotten so many people reaching out and saying, "Hey, man, thanks for everything you've done, and I'm so happy for you in the new position you're in, and we're
Yeah.
excited because now we get to bring you on board, and I get to work with a lot of the other brands that I worked with in the past, and we still get to work together. I'm on a different team, but it's the same goal.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
it's been cool.
and there's so much power in being able to communicate on a level that connects with the person. And that's one of the things, you know, watching you and your lovely wife, Liz, you guys just have this ability.
Shout out to my lovely wife.
Yes, to put people at ease, right? Because I think a lot of times, especially when there's a language barrier,
Yeah,
you're timid to ask a question because one, you're conscientious of how you're speaking and what you're saying, if you're saying it right, instead of being able to just go, all right, this is a problem I'm having. Can you help me? Can you guide me through that?
correct.
Yep.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
shout out to Mike's Marine Carrier. You got your pirate duck here. So if you want to come in as the RoadFS pirate interpreter, we got you going there.
He speaks fluent
So,
pirate.
so one of the things that I really appreciate about Rupes is just the quality of people that are there at the team. I mean, if you look at Ilya and Sarah and you and Jason Rose, and just the quality of that team is
Robin, can't forget
Robin,
Todd.
just, I mean, it just keeps going on, and there's so many good partners and affiliates and people that do it, because I mean, when you get right down to it, you know, Rupes is famous for the Bigfoot line, right? They're famous for the system, but it's not just a product, right? I can pick up a bottle of somebody's compound, and there's 50 companies that make compound, but the thing about the tools are that is something that detailers make their living on every single day. They have to be quality. They have to have good support. Somebody's going to break it. You're going to drop it off of a boat. It's going in the water. You're going to drop it off a ladder. It's going to hit the ground. I have personally seen the company, the Rupes company, absolutely take care of clients. Like, bring in this thrashed machine that you can tell is just abused, and like within 3 hours, it's sitting back in front of them, and it's beautiful. It's brand new. And they're like, here you go. So I think that's really cool. It's a big feather in the cap for Rupes, because they really know how to take care of their people. And I'm glad that we've been able to do a lot of stuff with you guys. It's really awesome to be at the trainings with you guys and connect. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff this year with Rupes. So we're going to be in Denver. You're going to go. I'm going April 11th for another aviation training, and then in June, the end of June, Ilya and myself and Tate and Trout are doing a motorcycle specific training.
Oh, nice.
And so we get to do that a lot. I love it. It's close to us, and it's a beautiful facility. If you've never been to the Rupes training facility, you really got to take advantage of that.
Must go. Definitely.
And then you guys are going to be in Houston for the Shine Time Expo, which is a huge aviation event.
Correct.
And it's going to be, I mean, so we're going to see each other a lot this year, but people really need to get out. And it's kind of, somebody was asking about detailing the other day, and they're like, how can I get into a training facility? And I'm like, dude, there are so many opportunities. Just take advantage of them. Go to Rupes website. You guys have a full list of your training. Get a hold of Giancarlo or Sarah or Ilya or Robin or all these people. I wonder if Robin's going to be at PDP this year.
I don't know.
Do you know who's going to PDP?
Robin will be at the Shine Expo. I won't be, unfortunately. My schedule was already booked for for that time,
Okay.
and I won't be in Denver till probably mid-April. I think May. I have to go 2 more times. I know that. The calendar is just so slammed that I keep forgetting all the
Oh yeah.
dates.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Jody and I had to actually print an old school calendar. It's about 4
So we
feet
can
wide on the
see
wall,
it.
and write it in marker so that we can literally, I can glance at it from here and
yeah,
tell you where we're going to be, because there's so many trainings and so many events, and it's been fabulous because I don't think people understand, if they don't take advantage of these 3-day trainings or these 2 days or 1-day trainings, how much you can learn in that time frame. Like the ADA has come on strong and started doing aviation training.
correct.
Josh Hernandez and Brett
They're
Berry,
kicking
you
butt.
guys are a big part of that. We're a big part of that. Those
Shout out to
trainings are
Josh.
packed.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
shout out
Brett.
to Mr. Hernandez.
So I want to give a shout out to you. And you don't know this. I don't think I told you, but I don't even think Rod knows this. So a year ago, Jason Rose came to me and he said, "Hey, Jody, I really would like to bring somebody on our team in the U.S. It's bilingual and that would just really connect with our customers, our potential customers. Who would you recommend?" And you were the first name I mentioned, followed by 3 others.
Yeah, and I know the other one. We've
Right?
already shouted out to
And
him.
and and the other 3 were Juan Gonzalez, Catherine Blanco, and Mr. Rigo Santana.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Crazy.
of all these 3, which one do you think would be absolutely the top? I go, I love all 4 of those guys, but if you want someone to wear the red hat, probably Giancarlo's your guy.
Yeah.
So
And
it's fun to
Wow.
see you step into this. And
yeah.
so
I
is
didn't.
your
I was not aware of that, and I'm very humbled and thankful for that, bro. Really.
Yeah. And
thank,
just so you're
thank you.
aware, you didn't know this, but you could probably have guessed this. Jason did not ask me my opinion because I, no,
You already knew.
I think it's been an honor to work with actually all 4 of those people.
he's
I mean, you
pelo
guys are
güero, so it
fabulous.
doesn't matter.
And I think what's interesting is, and this is just, I think it's a cultural thing, honestly, because I've been to a lot of trainings, I've been to a lot of events, and people are good to other people, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I have never seen a community of people come together more than the Latino community at a training. Literally brought me
Every
to tears.
single one.
Brought me to tears because they're building people up and they're encouraging as they're training. They're not just saying hold the polisher this way. They're like, don't let the haters come in. Keep your head up. You can do this. And they're really
Yeah,
building people up. And that is, I think, what is missing from the rest of the detailing community is building people up and giving them the confidence to go forward and do the job.
absolutely. That's actually probably the most important thing. Prior to my trainings with Rupes, the other brands that I worked with, it was always my goal to make sure that if they were paying for a class or they were coming to a class and giving me their undivided attention, that I made sure I can cover all the little things that they would need. Where we come into, this is a business that's not regulated. We don't have people telling us you need to go get a license for this and insurance for, well, yeah, obviously insurance and things, but we could start this from the back of our car on our, we could start this from a bicycle. I've seen guys on a
Yeah.
3-wheeler bicycle driving around detailing and washing cars, and a lot of times my mistakes and the experiences that I went through in my business is what helps me train that class. It's what helps me push these guys to the next level. Because I was already there. I already failed numerous times and I got myself out of it. And that's a lot of times what they need. Not necessarily this is a tool that you need to buy or this is a
Right.
product you need to buy. We're not salesmen. We're here to help and showcase our line of products. But the reason we do it is because we know that it's going to help you in your business. It's going to help you in one way or another. So being able to do that and it's, to me, it's like a loss for words because it's an opportunity I never thought that I would have, that I would be in that position. And then people are, oh, you're an amazing trainer, you're this and that. I'm like, I don't see it like that. I see it more like I've been giving a gift to be able to express myself and show the things that I've done and the things that I've learned.
Yeah.
And that's a gift. Not everybody gets it. And I understand that. And it's not something that I looked for. It just happened. It just
Yeah.
happened. I
Well,
would
I
find
think it's
myself at trainings helping others out while I'm a trainee someone else's training. And
yeah, and I think
it's an awesome thing.
there you and I had met several times. You were with a different company, but the first time I actually watched you go and do a training was at one of the Southern Detailers conferences, and Jody and I were involved. We were watching another trainer at his thing, and we were speaking a little bit, and we could hear you off in the corner. And so then Jody and I were walking out, and we stopped, and we literally stood behind the curtain, and we were listening to you do some training. And I told Jody at that point, I was like, that guy's really good. He connects with the people. He's down to earth. He's fun. He keeps them engaged. That guy's a really good trainer. And then we talked
Thank
to you
you.
after that and everything, but I really feel like it is something that just comes from within. And there's another big shout out to Bob Rossman. He's another great trainer. But I think that's what it's all about, is trying to legitimately help them learn. I mean, yes, you work for a specific company, but your goal is to help them become a better detailer. I
Yep.
saw on a forum the other day, I swore I was going to bring this up today, and I saw on a forum and somebody says, what makes a really good detailer? Which products? And then there was a comment on there that said, it doesn't matter the product. A really good detailer will take whatever they've got and they'll make the car look the best they can, or the boat or the plane or whatever. The
Right.
detailer is what makes it a good detailer, not the product. Because you can have the best products in the world in any industry and completely screw something up. So
Absolutely.
I think that's what's great about so many of the trainings that Jody and I have an advantage of going to, and we really do look at it as an advantage. We're blessed in that aspect. We get to go to all these wonderful trainings. It's getting people the confidence and getting them to understand that they can do this. It's a learning curve, unless you're talking about Jody putting on PPF, and then that's never.
That's
Never,
never,
never.
You could throw me in that conversation. I can't. I tried so hard with that stuff and it just never worked out. But that is probably that's the most important thing of what I do. And it's awesome because like I said, I was in their position before. There was others before me that
Yep.
put their hand out and said, "Hey, this is what you should do. This is what, and one of the big things that we have in this industry is obviously we're all business owners, we're all our own bosses, so there's a very high ego. There is a lot of that going around. And when I see people pull that guard down and say, all right, teach me. Yeah, I've been in this industry for 18 years. I've taught people that have been in there for 28, 29 years, but they may have known it all, but one little thing that I showed them different than they've ever seen it was everything to them. And
Yep.
that to me is everything, because at the same time, I'm also learning. I'm learning every day. I mean, you touched on it earlier that Rupes, they don't just hire anyone because they have to have some type of quality that they see in them. And that is true all throughout all our employees. I can go from the guys in marketing, the girls in the office that deal with customer service, all the way down to myself, the field technicians. Everyone has a quality that we need, and everyone's goal, it's it's not about the money. Rupes, great company to work with, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's about what we can do, because we can get money elsewhere.
Yeah.
You can work your butt off and you can do other things. But I've learned this, and being able to work the past few months with them and training with certain people in the company, I've noticed that a lot of them could care less about the money. It's about the job. They genuinely
Yeah.
enjoy working and doing what they do. It's funny because when I'll ask sometimes as the new guy, I'm like, "Hey guys, when's payday?" Uh, we don't know. Okay. And I'm like, man, I want to get to that point where I don't even care what paydays is. It just comes in. We
Yeah.
know it's there. And what I realize is that they do this not because of that check. They do it because they
Yeah.
truly love where they're at. And that to me was a blessing to be able to be chosen among the ones you mentioned, is an honor because I know where I came from. My experience is okay, if I'm in it for 10 years, some of these guys have been in it for way longer than that, double that time. So I feel very blessed and honored to be able to have that position. But it also, it's, you see it when you start working with all the other people at Rupes and you start seeing their quality and you start noticing, okay, Rupes just, they pick and choose who they need because they already know what they want, and you're someone that's going to represent them well. You're someone that's going to take them to a next level, and they've been nothing but great with me. The support, everything they've given me since I started, it's amazing. It's, they told me, hey, there's no doing wrong here as long as you do your job and you're out there putting in 100% effort. That's all we care about. And to
Right.
me,
Right.
that is totally different because I'm coming from other brands where, not to throw anyone under the bus, but money is a big issue, and that is our end goal, is to be able to make sales so we stay alive and we could all eat.
Right.
um
Right.
but Rupes has established themselves as a brand where it's a form of lifestyle almost.
Well, and
You put
it's
on.
more, I would say it's more than a brand, it's a premium brand, right? There are some premium brands in this industry that go above and beyond. Rupes is one of them, right? And I'm not going to mention any names, but you can buy a polisher at Harbor Freight. You're not going to get trained by the people that make that polisher. You're not going to get
Correct.
the support. You're not going to get any of that. And so there's a big difference there. Years and years and years ago, prior to Abraham Lincoln being president, I was a mechanic. And I would buy premium brands of tools because they were repaired, and the guy would come by every single week. And you're going to break something, and they would just replace it.
Yep.
So you got to think about your time and your energy. And it's funny because I was able to do an internship for a young man just a couple of years ago, like right in 2019 and 2020 during COVID. And he got it approved through his high school that he could come to my house and do an internship on mechanics because I was a ASE certified mechanic.
And he's got a killer shop.
And I've got a good shop. And so he came in and I did it. And it was interesting because you were saying this earlier. It's not just, this is how you turn, it's not just about righty tighty, lefty loosey. It's like, okay, when you're doing this, you want to make sure you keep your knuckles out of the way because the frame's right there and you're going to bash your knuckles.
Yep.
So do it with an open hand. It's those tips that you've learned, right? It's like, look at the scars on my hands, and then I'm going to tell you how not to do that.
Yeah.
And it's important in a trainer, like you said, to say, look, this is where I've failed. This is where you don't want to fail, right? And I think that's great. The young man actually went on, he's now a helicopter mechanic.
Oh, cool.
So
Good
that's
for him.
really cool.
That is cool.
And it's been fun doing those kind of things, but it's also fun going on these trainings and doing new stuff, right? I mean, we got Mike from Mike's Marine Care on here. Mike is teaching people at the trainings he's attending because he's been doing this so long that, Mike is one of the very few guys that I would say I would put him up against anybody to start and finish with a rotary. I've seen it. I've seen him do a
coming
black
from you, Rotary guy.
That's right.
That
He's
yeah.
fantastic. So I think that is one of those things where he's very humble, and I think that's what it takes to be in a training like that, is to have humility. Humility is a word that we should all look at and be humble and understand that we're going to learn. We're going to be at the training, like I said, in Jacksonville with Rain Albertson and doing some different things with Rashid Baker. And everybody there listens because somebody has something to offer that you're going to learn and you're going to pick up on. And it may not help you today, but it could help you 2 years, 3 years down the line.
Correct. And it refreshes you too. It's a good refresh type of situation where you may have forgotten something and someone refreshes your mind, or you learn something completely new. Again, I'm learning things all the time, even in my position. I can express a ton of things on the tools and this and that, but real world problems and real world solutions, require experimenting, failing, and continuing going through. And sometimes I haven't been in a situation that someone else has, and I learn it, and then we try to figure it out. And that's been that's literally my job, and I love it. It's like
Yeah.
who
So
doesn't?
I have a question for you, right? You've been a detailer for 10 years. Your wife's been a critical part of that. You have a really good
Yeah.
business partner that helps you. And now you're stepping into a quote corporate environment. But dude, Rupes does not feel corporate. I mean, you go there and you feel like you're at home. So, what has been your biggest takeaway just in the short time joining the Rupes team?
Well, first and foremost, the welcoming. I guess it helps being able to be friends with a lot of the people on the team. I've had plenty of years because I started. Um, my good friend John Jay, he introduced me to Rupes back in 2016, and we were detailing a numerous amount of cars for a large car show in Vegas, which I was not aware of. That car show turned out to be SEMA, and my first large event like that was SEMA, where we were doing cars on the side of the street, not just regular cars. It would be a Lambo matching the the trailer, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the side by side on the trailer matched the trailer. And so I'm sitting there looking at things. Pirelli's pulling up with their 18-wheeler, unloading cars, and they're like, "Hey, how much do you charge for detail? This much, this so much. Okay, cool. Here, sold. We got 6 cars we need you to do." That was very new to me. And then he told me, and I will never forget this, and I owe him a lot for putting me in the position that he put me, but he said, "I'm going to make sure that you shake hands with the right people. This is all about networking. This is all about who you know, and how you present yourself." So, um, tying up, that's exactly what he told me. Tying up, put the shirt on, and we're going to go inside the show, and I'm going to introduce you to some people. He's introducing me to the Jason Rose, Larry with Ammo, and I'm meeting all these new people. I met Alberto and Todd, and that I didn't think back then that was anything like big or anything like that. But as the years passed, it showed me um these type of relationships are very important, and networking is one of the most important things that we can do in this life, no matter what industry we're in, no matter what we decide to do. I use that same motto to teach my kids that you cannot just be that person that walks in, waves your hand, and no, come out, shake your hand, look at them in the eye, say hello. My name's Giancarlo. My name's Isabella, Annabella, or Gianni, my son. Um, Look at them in the eye, shake their hands, say thank you for having me here,
Yeah.
and just be outgoing. Because that's gonna take you very far. You're not gonna be that type of that cup of tea for everybody. You're
No.
gonna get people that may not like the way you do things, or the way you are, or the way you do things. But at least you give them that respect of acknowledging them, always saying hello, and giving them the respect, no matter what the outcome is. And I felt that was very important for me, because I met people that I was meeting people that were on YouTube, that I had seen on YouTube, and I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. And then now I get put into Rupes, and the first thing I noticed was how welcoming they were. They were very welcoming. Everybody was very excited to have me on board. Sometimes I ask myself why, and it's like it's weird, but you accept it and you go with it. And I think, yes, there are corporate. I will say that Rupes is very professional with everything they do on their back end. They're very corporate, as far as making sure the brand image is always first. And and since we are the brand, we're out there, people recognize us. Oh, you're with Rupes, you're Rupes. We need to follow suit with that as well. And but at the same time, they're like, be yourself. We
Yep.
didn't bring you on board so that you could be a robot training in front of 20 people. We want you to be yourself. We want you to do certain things our way, but at the same time, we want you to add your flair to it. So don't feel like you need to be walking on eggshells or anything like that. Just go ahead, be yourself. As long as yourself aligns with our way of doing things, everything's
Right.
great. And it's understandable. You know, too many people have put a lot of work into bringing this brand up to where we're at today. um Obviously we started in 1947, and then in 2010 we made it to the US. And since 2010, you know, guys like Alberto and Todd and um Jason came on board, and they moved Rupes to the next level. Obviously our tools are really badass, so that helped.
That
That
But
that that
helps.
helps a lot, but
And
that
and
helps a
and I want
little
to
bit,
say,
you
sorry,
know.
I interrupted Rob, but I want
that's
to
okay.
say this: you are a reflection and an enhancement of the brand.
Thank you.
There, one of the things that I really appreciate about the Rupes brand, you, Sarah, Robin, Jason, Todd, the whole nine, you always remember not only what you learned, but you remember how you felt in your presence, engaging
Yeah.
with you. And I think that's the real power, right? Because
Yeah.
you always remember how someone made you feel. You may not remember every little detail that they taught you, but they always remember how they made you feel.
Yeah.
And it's like I always, when I'm in an environment where I'm speaking Spanish, whether it's been in Mexico or El Salvador, a lot of times I will say, look, I I'm I know that I'm not going to say things perfect every time. I know that I speak like a huerito, right? But I hope that you feel the intention of my heart, because we,
Absolutely.
as a team and as a brand, are here to help you both as a business and as an individual. And that's the thing that I really, really appreciate about the entire team at Rupes. And I'm super excited to see what's going on, because it really is a reflection of an entire mindset of we're going to serve and we're going to help elevate.
Absolutely. And, you know, as a large team that we are, and we are full of egos, there's a bunch of alphas in there. We
Todd's
know
not
our
an alpha.
no, not a one bit. And that's that using him as an example. The guy's been he brought up Rupes from the get over here in the
Yeah.
United States from way back to 2010. Him and Alberto did a lot of legwork, and then now working with him next to him, you know, 10-year veteran rookie. I'm learning a ton. I'm learning a ton, but at the same time, as much as he knows what he can bring to the table, he allows me to also express myself and teach things in my way. And that was something really cool that we noticed in Puerto Rico. He told me, he's like, dude, you're doing great. Just
Yeah.
go on. Just
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I
fly, my
think that
friend,
that's
fly. I
part of
was
it
like,
is
oh.
depending on what training you go to, you get that different flair from each person. I mean, I've been with every single one of the people we're talking about at Rupes, and some people are going to relate to Todd more. Some people are going to relate to you. A lot of people, like we were at a training at PDP a year ago, and Sarah was there, and Jody and I are standing back, and we're watching it, and it was like what's his name, the Pied Piper, man. As she's walking around the vehicle, people are following her around, and there's like 120 people there, and I'm like, I'm literally, I was like, look at the respect that they're
Yeah.
giving her to do a
Yeah.
training, and the same thing with you when you're doing like the aviation training there in Houston. And I think it's partly because of the ego is down, right? You're just another
Yeah.
person in the room. You respect this person, and you're not like, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's like, hey, let's talk about this. Does anybody have any questions? This is what you want to do. And I've always appreciated that because it allows people, like you said, to come out. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are very introverted, and they're not easily brought out, but then when you can bring that out and they're willing to ask a question or engage, or that's the best part about training. And I've done all kinds of trainings throughout my life, and the best part about it is when you see somebody that's kind of hanging back start asking questions, and you can actually start to see that
Right.
they're getting engaged.
Yeah, engagement is it's the most important thing. If we can't engage with anyone, and again, that also leads in with networking. You want to be able to walk into a room and the eyes come to you, the people are attracted to you. And I don't know, a lot of times I don't, it's not done purposely. It's not like I want to walk in there and everyone to say, hey, look, there's that guy. No, it just happens. And
Mhm.
you have to know how to run with it, because if you use it as a something to blow up your head, you'll go the wrong way, and then you start becoming very ego, like, oh, my way is the only way, and we
Yeah.
know there's so many different ways to do things. So it is challenging, but again, it's something that also comes natural to you, and that's where I've noticed that Rupes has picked people that it's just natural, for them to be able to have that type of impact on, into a training, a group of people, where each one has their own way of doing things, and they're, all of us are very talented in different ways, and we all have our niche. And it's beautiful because when you train with different, when I get to train with different people, you get to pick up on some of their techniques, let's say, of
Yeah.
training, and the way they engage, and that to me is awesome, because that
Mhm.
helps me be better at what I do. And it's like every person, I'm sure that years down the line there will be others under me. Right now I'm the rookie, and I've been the rookie for a few months now, and it's cool, it's great. But I know when new people start coming in, it's going to be my job to reciprocate that to them, and be able to, help them grow and blossom into what they are going to be. And that's it's just like training, it's just like training, seeing all these trainees come to your class, and then afterwards, a week later, they're sending you a picture of the job that they just finished doing,
Yeah.
and they're so happy because you may have helped them with some little thing that was probably stupid, but to them made a whole difference, and made them more money, made them look better, more
Yep.
professional. All that is awesome, and that to me is like, it's probably the coolest part of this job, is being able to, accomplish that, and like you said, so many more things are coming down the pipeline right now. We are very busy. We have a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of
Yeah.
events, and each event is something new, something
That's
happens. And
awesome.
so far it's been, I can't count how many events I've done already for Rupes. I
Oh,
just know
yeah.
that the last 3 months, have been almost like a blur, because it just happens so fast. Something I was not used to, but now I'm getting traction. I feel good. I feel very comfortable doing the trainings. It was very nerve-wracking at first, when you got guys like Ilya, and how smart he is, and Jason Rose, and you got Sarah showing, the different ways they do trainings, and then you kind of have to find your own niche,
Yeah.
and feel comfortable within yourself, and not look stupid, and not say things that are incorrect. So, it comes in, it's something you got to get used to at first. But so far I feel very comfortable, and I actually got my first training by myself next weekend at the Detailing Summit, and
Whoa,
that's
Nice.
going to
made
be
it.
fun. I get to
Yes,
do
sir.
my slides, and I get to show people, Rupes, what Rupes is all about, and I
That's
will be alone
awesome.
for that one. So I've been somewhat practicing, and in my head going over things on what I want to do. We'll be working along with Rashid. Will you guys be at that
Yep.
event?
We're
Yes, sir,
there.
Yep.
babe.
We're
So
there,
let's
babe.
talk about that. So Rod and I have a crazy schedule coming up. I don't know if it's as crazy as yours, but Monday
Probably. You guys are
we
everywhere.
fly to Canton, Ohio to spend a day with PDP. Thank you, Mike and Mike, for inviting us to participate in that again.
Yep.
We are super excited. And then
Shout out.
Wednesday, we fly to Jacksonville for the Detailing Summit, which you will be there. Angel Wax is going to
Yep.
be there.
Rashid, Richard Hutchings with Leather
Richard at
Repair
Leather
Company.
Repair Company.
Flex
Um,
will be there.
Flex is going to be there.
Flex
It's going
and
to be,
Rupes,
it's
which is
awesome.
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, to have them
That's
both.
been something that we've been trying to do for a long time. And
Then
then
we're at TRCMA for a week. So
here at
we
the
so
Rag Company.
so the Rag Company has, if you don't know, every year they do a virtual expo. They have all of the main brands, either remote or on site. Rod and I are actually going to be doing live podcasts every single day from the
we're gonna
Rag
be
Company,
simulcasting with
as
them.
well as doing a presentation on Thursday the 4th, where we
Nice.
will be highlighting both Detail Bookie and RoadFS. It's the first time that
Sweet.
you will ever see a side-by-side comparison between two softwares. So we're going to do that. We're super excited. Then I'm going to be at the aviation detailing training in Denver.
The first part of April.
And then in May,
Jody's
wait,
gonna be
no. There's one more.
Oh no.
There is a marine vehicle training with Angel Wax here in Boise,
Idaho.
at the Detail
Hey, that's gonna be
Doctors.
cool.
Doctors. And then in May, you're gonna go to Mexico to Detail Expo Mexico. I'm gonna be in California for an RV training. So we go all over the world and love this. And I wanna come back to something that Sarah said way up the line. She just said confidence. That is, I think, a huge thing, is the difference between confidence and cocky. Somebody that comes across cocky is the look at me, look at me, look at me, and that does not go over well. But somebody that has confidence, that they know what they're doing, but they're willing to learn as well, is the biggest difference to me. When I see somebody and they're confident in what they know, but they go, oh, I've never thought about that. And they instantly can receive feedback. And that is one of the things that I love about everybody that's at Rupes. And we tease Todd a lot. You know, he's big. He's got that big, boisterous Todd voice. But he's actually willing to learn as well. He's got that confidence without being cocky. And I think that's a really valuable thing. So that one word is that is something everybody needs to take on. And then let's see, we're going into, May and June, we're running training courses in India.
God, everywhere.
Richard's going to be in India training, and then he's going to be back in the United States in the summer, and we're going to be.
We'll call him Mr. Worldwide.
Oh man, it's going to be all over. So one of the things that's really fun is just seeing the changes, seeing the new products advance. You know, as Rupes came out last year with a new kind of an intermediate foam pad that is fabulous, kind of the aquamarine.
Yes.
And that's why I think trainings are so important, because somebody that learned 5-6 years ago, you're behind in the new techniques and the new things that can make you money faster, more efficient. You know, a 2-step correction or a 1-step correction compared to a 3-step can really save a lot of time and make a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, people are running a business. They're feeding their families, and there are so many different mediums that you can detail. Boats, motorcycles, RVs, 4x4, side-by-sides, cars, trucks, SUVs, countertops. You can do countertops. You can do, you know,
kitchen,
shower
outdoor
enclosures.
kitchens. You could do so many different things, and that's the beauty of it. And that's where the title of this podcast is what it is. Which it said I don't remember exactly what it said, but it's detailing has took me so far.
So many places.
So many different places that I never even dreamed of. I mean, I started this just to make some money on the side because the other business I was in wasn't going so well. And it opened so many opportunities. I had at one training a couple of years ago, I had one of the gentlemen ask me, how can I get into your position? Because during the whole training, you know, I'm teaching them, I'm showing them this and that. We're going over a lot of things. We're going over the products that we're working on. And I'm giving them, because it's not just about this is how you do it, this is how it should be done, or this and that. This is how I do it. This is what I've ran into. These are the experiences that I've had. But also the business side of it, where this is how much you should charge and how much am I worth? And I'm like, I can't tell you that. You have to tell yourself that and figure that out. And so learning all these little things and teaching these people, you know, the in and outs of what the mistakes that I've made and showing them all the things that have helped me get to this point. One of the questions was, well, how can I get to your point right now? How can I be a trainer? And I said, I remember telling him, I'm like, there's so many different things that you can do, but one of the things that you're gonna have to do is not be scared, be confident in what you do. And the moment you feel confident, which Sarah touched it, right on the nail. She The confidence that she brings, the confidence that all our teammates bring are it's just amazing. We don't and we only have that through experience. Through the experiences that we've had. We feel confident enough that we can teach from our experiences. And that really sets everything apart. So that guy was like, "Well, I want to do that later on in life." And I'm like, "And you can." You
Yeah.
can do that. You can do that. And I'm no one to tell you you can't. I'm no one to tell you that you should. You need to figure that out on your own. And when you do, the sky's the limit. This
Yeah.
industry, you can sell products, you can be the end user, you can create software, you can get into marketing, you can get into video and photography. There's so many different things. You can get into
Yeah.
trainings, product development, and that is the beauty of it, because there's a lot of detailers out there that run into walls and they're unhappy with the business, or they're unhappy with but they have a passion for it. And I tell them, look, I'm here right now. I may be here for 10 years, but I may be in different positions. That means my position may be open. Why not? And it
Yeah.
doesn't have
I
to necessarily be with Rupes. It could be with so
Yeah.
many different brands that are out there.
I love that because my I always tell my kids, why not you?
Yeah.
Right? Why not you? My son is an aspiring actor, singer, musician, and I'm like, dude, why not you? I mean,
Yeah,
other people are performing on big stages. They started out in their garage, and it's been fun to watch his evolution. So you never know where your choices are going to take you,
that's
especially
true.
when they're driven by passion.
Absolutely.
So I think you have one last thing, and then we'll wrap it
No, I
up.
was
So
just going to say that the key to getting confidence is just telling yourself you can. So many people look at it and say, "I can't do that. Oh my gosh, I could never be able to do that." I just being able to tell yourself, "I can do this. I can learn how to do this, and I can become effective at it." And so,
Yeah.
it's like a sports team, any kind of sports team. I don't care what it is: baseball, soccer, American football, rugby. It doesn't matter. The next generation is right there with you. And the key is to help build them up. You may be number one today,
Yep.
but that person eventually, you want them to be right there with you and then become better. So
Absolutely.
that's the key to it. Is that's what we got to think about, is when we're training somebody, or we're bringing up that next generation, and you're
Yeah.
not going to be number one forever, right? And that's just how it is, and that's okay, because you
Yeah.
want to bring somebody else into it. You may find a great partner, somebody to buy a business, somebody to go into business with. It just doesn't matter. I mean, that's what
Right.
you look at people when we acquired Detail Bookie in January. And this year's been crazy for us as well, right? Acquiring a new company, doing all stuff. People are like, "Why would you do that?" And I'm like, "Because we had a lot of respect for Dustin and the things that he had done." And in fact,
Absolutely.
Dustin's
Shout
with
out to
us still.
Dustin.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's still
he's
part of the
still
team.
helping us.
It's not like it wasn't the situation where we wanted to make a bunch of changes. We saw the value of it and bring it on. And I think that any company that can see that value of making changes as you go is a great company. I know that Rupes has this massive R&D, effort to go out, and some of the we've been, again, lucky enough to see some of the products come from their infancy. When we had an NDA that said, "You tell anybody about this, and
Yep.
you're gonna," all the way through to where that now is a product. One of those was
Yeah.
Uno Pure,
Yep,
Yeah. For
and
me, it
some of
was
the
Uno
Uno products.
Advance.
Yeah,
yep,
and it was just fabulous because we got to see that happen and
Yeah.
see the evolution of it and see people training with it. So, we could go on like this
yeah.
for
We
hours
could.
because it's such an easy conversation with you. So I appreciate you just
No,
being
thank you
who you
guys.
are and allowing us to interrupt your day for, in the sun.
An
We're
hour,
jealous of you
Oh,
right
yeah,
I'm
now.
I'm having a beautiful day. This is a
yeah.
beautiful day.
Thank you, dude. Rub it
My
in, rub it
my
in.
patient is over here waiting. It just needs to be cleaned and get ready for next week. We have a cool photo shoot going on with this client, and but yeah, no, I enjoy talking to you guys always in person, through social media. You guys bring a lot of joy and togetherness to the industry.
Yeah.
Um, you're at every event, you show you care, you're not there, and it shows because these events and to get to all these things cost money.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that is what moves us. But it's also proven that you guys do this because of the passion you have for the industry. Um, oh, look, guys, isn't that the cutest little boat ever? That's about what I can afford right now, but
That's
hopefully
right.
soon
That's
it'll be
right.
a lot bigger. But no, you guys bring a lot of you make the industry fun. You open up the world to the new detailers, and you're showing them what could be possible, what they can achieve, and how together we can grow the industry to something better. I think since I started, this industry has just grown tremendously. Actually, this is the boat that I want. Sorry, I get thrown off by all these
No,
boats
no,
Oh,
no.
coming
You're
dude,
by.
good. You're good.
you're
You
in my
know,
heaven right now. So
it's it's a
anytime you
beautiful
want to
thing.
go to the marina and see a boat, dude, you're
Oh yeah.
in my
Oh,
heaven. So it's
we
good.
see them on my neighbors have boats parked in front of their houses. But it's nice to see them on the water, all pretty and stuff. But yeah, what you guys are doing it's amazing. Being able to bring people like myself and other awesome detailers and people that are part of the industry. It's unique. It's something that's not really being done. You guys have pushed through it, adversity and you know the all the different challenges that you run into, and you
Yeah.
guys are there and you'll be there for who knows how long you guys will be doing this.
Hey, we're having
um
fun.
but
So
you're
Yeah,
having fun and
we're gonna be the first 95-year-old detailers out there doing this stuff, right?
but I plan on being on my
That's
wait,
right.
Catamara's
We'll
Rod,
be
podcast from
I thought you
there.
said you're already there.
I know. Well, Jody's
Yeah,
got to get there. I'm
dude.
147, but
But
So
no,
well,
you
man,
guys keep doing what you guys are doing.
well, thank you. Thank
From
you.
me, I think you guys are awesome. You guys are good friends of mine. I enjoy knowing that when I go to a training and hearing, oh, Rod and Jody are gonna be there. I'm like, hey, my boys are gonna be there. I know that we're gonna have
that's
a good
right.
dinner. We're gonna have some good lunches, some laughs, and we're gonna be learning and experiencing new things together. So,
Yep.
Exactly.
I am looking forward to seeing you guys again next weekend. That's
Yeah.
gonna
Yep.
be a lot
Yep.
of fun,
Summit.
and you guys keep rocking and kicking ass, man.
Yeah, you
We'll do it,
too,
brother. You
brother.
too.
Well, thank you
Thanks
so
everybody
much
for
for
tuning
joining
in
us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look for us to be live all next
everywhere.
week. We're going to be at Canton, Ohio. We're going to be in Jacksonville, and it's going to be fun. So, thank you
Thank
guys so
you.
much for stepping in. Please remember to go like, share, and subscribe.
And I'm
We will
looking at all
see.
the comments here. There's a lot
Oh,
of
there's
comments in there,
tons.
Oh,
We
but
got to go.
there's way too
to
many
all
of them.
those
Yeah.
commenting, if I haven't met you, I look forward to meeting you. If I do know you, I love you. You guys are awesome. And
Yep.
you two guys over there, you guys have a fantastic day. Hopefully it's not too cold for you guys over there.
Oh no, no, we're
No, it's
getting there.
warming up,
It's
which is
getting
good.
warm. We're
So,
getting warm. So
anyway,
I'll
we'll
send you
see
guys
you
some
we'll
later.
close it out
flowers.
later. We'll let Richard close it out with
Yeah,
a see
see ya.
ya.
See you fellas. Take care.